Caribbean is so unique. We have this morning with us special guest, His Excellency George Emmanuel Germany. He's the ambassador for the Republic of Benin, and also Marvin John Baptist. You must have heard of the Creole basketball tournament sometime last year. He was that's a brainchild of this particular Dominican parentage, and he has been doing so much work. He's a professional. He thrives on sustainability, and he's also the president of Caribbean Sports and Sustainable Development in Guadeloupe. And today we are going to delve into a very, very instrumental and monumental tournament that is scheduled to take place in Dominica. And they will give you all the details, but it will involve Dominica definitely. It will involve Guadeloupe, it will involve Martinique. And like we said, the ambassador is from the region, but he's representing the entire Caribbean, and is the ambassador for Benin in the West African country of Benin. In Before we actually go across to our esteemed guest this morning, I want to send deepest condolences to the family of Jose Plia. And Jose Plia is a former director of Alliance Française de la Dominique, also from Benin. And he died, I understand, over the weekend. And I really want to send my deepest condolences from all of us at Alliance Française de la Dominique. He was a really instrumental individual in really getting Dominica closer to the culture, to the roots. And it's really sad when I heard of his passing. As a matter of fact, he was responsible for giving me a scholarship through Alliance Française to pursue media and broadcasting at Radio France International. So deepest sympathies from all of us at Alliance Française, the board of directors, President Charlene, and the entire board of directors at Alliance Française, going to his family. And also to the ambassador, who is also ambassador for Benin. So it's a kind of mystical world where we are actually sending condolences to one who was in Dominica and played a monumental part in Dominica. So good morning to you, gentlemen. Are we hearing you loud and clear? Are you hearing me? Good morning. Marvin, good morning.
Good morning. I
Good morning, Mr.
Yes.
Charles, Ambassador Charles. Good morning,
Yes, I'm hearing
Ambassador
you loud and
Germany.
clear. Ça qu'a fait fois, nous kay mélanger, nous kay parler un peu de créole et puis nous kay mélanger avec anglais aussi.
Oui, bien
aucun
bonjour tout le monde.
problème.
Okay, good morning. Good morning to you.
Préparez-vous.
Good morning to you, Ambassador Germany. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm doing pretty okay. A little sad though. We heard of the passing of. I'm not sure if you knew him, but we heard the passing of Jose Plia. He was a former director of Alliance Française de la Dominique, and we heard of his passing yesterday. So members of Alliance Française actually mourning his death. I think he died in Canada, but he originally is from Benin.
Euh, non, moi, t'es qu'à penser c'était aux États-Unis, Miami ou l'autre bagaille comme ça, mais moi, comprends c'est aux États-Unis, les morts.
Eh ben, pas de,
Euh,
eh ben, si c'est aux
c'était,
États-Unis, pas de problème. Mais Yves et moi
mais si
fait un
c'était
stage.
le plus béninois des Dominicains ou le plus dominicain des Béninois,
Ouais, ouais,
c'était
ouais.
aussi le plus martiniquais des Béninois ou le plus béninois des Martiniquais, parce
Ah,
que il était dirigé, après l'Alliance française, il était dirigé l'Atrium en
ah,
Martinique, qui
ouais,
était en salle spectacle.
ouais, ouais,
Et
ouais.
donc, c'était en Mamaï, et dit que Yishli était l'école et puis Yishmoin,
Ok.
c'était un frère, c'était un camarade, et donc, moi, y en pile la peine. I'm very sad because of this loss for Martinique, Dominica, and Benin, and France too.
Absolutely. And I was very fortunate that he sent me to pursue media and broadcasting studies at Radio France International several years ago. And when I came back, I introduced a radio program called Francophone, live on DBS Radio. So it really saddens me that to hear of his passing. But today we're going to be discussing the relationship, and also we're going to be discussing the memorial crop. Uh, Marvin, comment Guadeloupe est frère?
Bah, Guadeloupe toujours debout. Guadeloupe qui a essayé d'avancer et vers nous là aussi pour jouer rôle en nous dans tout développement là ça.
Uh-huh.
parce que ça nécessite mon business ça, jeunesse la business ça, société la business ça, et puis ça nous a fait, et puis ONG, Caraïbes Sport, et puis développement durable, nous a essayé porter mon œuvre pour lier toute Caraïbes là, et aujourd'hui jour, c'est un grand honneur pour nous que République à Bénin, à travers l'ambassade de Germanie, aujourd'hui jour, et puis nous, pour soutien programme à développement, à sport, à dans Caraïbes là et à l'international aussi, avec ça, nous avons créé la coopération sportive. Vous voyez, nous avons mené ça dans des dynamiques de plusieurs dimensions à développement durable. OK? Et ça a créé Creole Sports International, c'est grand programme à ONG là. Eh ben, nous avons fait et puis basket, nous avons fait et puis d'autres sports. Mais aujourd'hui, nous venons pour parler de Creole Memorial Day Cup qui a été fait très bientôt au mois de mai. Nous pouvons parler plus de ça aujourd'hui.
Ok, pas de problème, ça fait moi plaisir là, parce que nous avons mélangé, parce qu'il y a pile de monde qui a parlé créole, mais il y a beaucoup de monde qui a parlé anglais aussi, donc c'est bof, première langue c'est anglais. Donc nous avons mélangé, est-ce que c'est possible, c'est bon?
Oui,
Ah,
no problem for this. It will be our pleasure.
no problem. So, à nous commencer.
My English spoken is not as fluent as yours, but let's try.
Pas de problème. Ça va faire mon plaisir. Ambassador, I must say it's a pleasure to have you live on national radio in Dominica. And I really want to thank Marvin for really giving us that connection to the African continent, our ancestors that's from that part of Africa they came from, and it's really a wonderful feeling to be connecting, to reconnecting. It's almost like repatriation time for us because that link, we have been missing out on that link. So, firstly, I want to thank you. I want to thank Marvin for the opportunity for us to get that connection, and let's see how far and wide this can go. But for the first question for you, Ambassador, is tell us about your goals and your dreams about the Caribbean, and what work do you do? Tell us about your ambassadorship and the role and responsibilities to the Caribbean.
Oh, I want to tell you that I have no dreams. I have only project
Projects. Bon.
because we are connecting. We are connecting with Africa. We have a country like Benin, which is our Israel, if you want, for all the Jews, uh, which is our first country of Africa, giving us the nationalities, the citizenship, without paying, without doing nothing, just proving that you are an African of the historic diaspora. You have no proof to bring them that you come from Benin precisely, but you come from Africa, and that's enough to permit you to have a future for you and for your family, not only living where you are, but taking part of the big adventure of the rising, the coming back of the powerful Africa. But because nowadays, every part of Africa is the proof that the power, the will come back where everything began. Um, you have petroleum, you have diamond, you have uranium, you have everything in Africa without us for the moment. And with this law of Benin permitting us uh, to do the back to Africa, we are able to have a house in Dominica, in Martinique, and a house in Benin, and living where we want. We can stay here in the Caribbean, but saying that we are African, African of the Caribbean. And with this project, with this sports project, uh, we imagine how far we can go with this sport diplomacy with this cultural diplomacy, with this memorial diplomacy, and that's a door uh, on the future. Our future is Afro-Caribbean, is African.
This is very interesting what you just said. So any descendant of Africa, I can okay. Let's use me as an example. I truly believe I'm a descendant of Africa. I don't have to prove anything. I can just come to Benin and I can be given citizenship.
Yes, the only proof you have to give to Benin is with your genealogy, a link with slavery, or with your DNA, a link with your Africanity. You only have to prove that you have only one ancestor coming from this historical crime, and they give you your passport
Passport.
with the other pieces you use to collect when you want to make your passport in Dominica, for example.
This is very important. This particular tournament, this basketball tournament, we are using this special memorial cup during the time of the abolition of slavery for the English. Like for us in Dominica, we were slavery was abolished in 1834, but it was different for the French. First August 1834 for us, as we were then liberated from England. But for you and let's say Martinique and Guadeloupe in particular, it was sometime later.
For us, it was no, in Guadeloupe, it was the first liberation was in the first abolition in uh,
1794.
voilà, 94,
Okay,
1794.
okay.
Then after, but for us in Martinica, we were British because our ancestors was under the British Crown. Abolition was for us in Martinique the 22 of May, and for Guadeloupe the 27. But I want
Okay, we seem to be
to
getting.
say, and that's very important. We used to consider Haiti as
Yes.
the first Black Republic, freedom, but that's not true. The first Black Republic abolishing slavery is Guadeloupe with
Wow.
a constitution in 18 from 18 to 81. During almost a year, Guadeloupe was independent and Guadeloupe was free,
Wow.
free from slavery, free from France. And that's very important to remember about it. So that's why I consider the link we are doing between Benin, Guadeloupe, and Martinique is a link by memory of freedom, of the fights for freedom.
How important is that link where Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique will host this particular tournament in sports, and the team from Benin will come down to actually represent the African continent in this magnificent celebration of our ancestors among us. Ourselves is like a whole coming back, bringing back history, or turning back the hands of history in, let's say, in today's world. How important is such a memorial cup?
Oh, if it's a question for me,
Yes.
I would say that it's a message of freedom, yes, a message of resistance, resilience, uh, and a message of hope and peace. Because in nowadays we hear the the fights of war in Africa, in Congo, war in Europe, in Ukraine, war in Israel, in Palestine. And I'm afraid, I'm afraid the late declaration of commercial war coming from the US is not a good message for the whole world. And the Caribbean, the little island we are, uh, have to take their place to tell the world and not being afraid of our little size, but to take our place in this world, to tell the whole world that we need peace. That's the for me the very most important message, a message of peace, of resilience, but of memory, to give respect to our ancestors and to show our descendants the way of the universal happiness. So let's fight for peace.
I love the message, very strong and powerful message. But Marvin, tell us about the Caribbean Sports and Sustainable Development role in uniting the region. I know you have been on that thrust to really bring the Caribbean closer. You have been one of those in the forefront of using culture and sports in particular to unite the Caribbean. Tell us about your role in this as the president of your particular organization.
Thank you, Mr. Charles, Ambassador Charles. Um, as the president of the NGO Caribbean Sport and Sustainable Development since 2023, we have been implementing our program, Creole Sport International, to develop sports in the Caribbean and internationally, but through cooperation and the multi-dimension of sustainable development. Our vision is to have a formula where we bring sports, culture, the youth, tourism, and economics together, to make sure there's a development in our region. And we have been successful so far with the Creole Basketball Championship last year, which is the Champions League of basketball of the Creole nations. Okay, but this year we are more ambitious by building an ecosystem with governments from the Caribbean, tourism authorities from the Caribbean, leagues, federation of basketball, clubs, athletes, to bring them together with the private sector, okay, to make sure that we can organize sustainable programs around the valorization of culture, the Creole culture, and to have an impact not even locally in the region, but also internationally. So this is where comes the Creole Memorial Day Cup 2025. We have heard in 2023 that the President of the Republic of Benin, His Excellency Mr. Talon, came to Martinique to meet the President of the local government of Martinique, Mr. Lechimi, and he made a call for cooperation, saying that not so much exists between us. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to leverage international sporting event to start to build and to reinforce this cooperation with West Africa through Benin, and it was an alignment also when I was introduced to His Excellency Mr. Germany, the Ambassador Germany, knowing that he's based in Martinique. So the concept of the Creole Memorial Day Cup is where four nations of the Creole nations, Martinique, Dominica, Guadeloupe, and also Benin, will attend with the national or all-star team, male all-star team, to this international sporting event, basketball tournament, Afro-Caribbean basketball tournament, around the commemoration of the abolition of slavery. So on May 22nd, the four teams will travel to Martinique to play on the date of the abolition of slavery in Martinique, in the city, capital city of Fort-de-France. Okay. And then through Express des Îles, which is a partner, we will cross the Caribbean Sea to go to Dominica, okay, to play in Dominica on May 24th. The 14th will play. You will have an amazing historic Dominica against Benin at Massac. Can you imagine that? And as an opening game, you will have Guadeloupe against Martinique. And then the teams will finally travel for Express des Îles to Guadeloupe, and in order to play on May 27th, date of the abolition of slavery in Guadeloupe, okay, at the city of Gauzier. Okay, the city of Gauzier was one of the biggest indoor facilities of the Caribbean. So all the teams are very excited to be part of this historic basketball tournament, Afro-Caribbean basketball tournament. It will be the first edition. But for us at Creole, at the NGO Caribbean Sport and Sustainable Development, is more than an international sporting event. The Excellency Ambassador of Germany said it very well. We try to carry a message in the world today of fraternity, of peace, and to show to the world how the Creole nations can come together to first to celebrate, but also to put in place, to implement a program for sport which is sustainable, which should have economic impact, a tourism impact, okay, impact in the mind of our youth, okay, that many doors can be opened to them when especially they start to build that Creole cultural confidence, okay, knowing that they are Afro-Caribbean, and the doors, not only the doors of Europe, not only the doors of the US, the Americas, but also the doors of Africa are open to them, and they are the most welcome, especially for Benin, when they can even have the citizenship. So should I say, which is extremely powerful. We know that Africa is the future of the world, definitely at different dimensions, and Benin especially is absolutely a land of investment booming. So it's a great opportunity with that movement back to Africa, which is very important to the world, to the diaspora, the African diaspora around the world. So it's more than a basketball tournament. This Creole Memorial Day Cup is absolutely more than a basketball tournament, and we are so excited. I'm a son of the diaspora of Dominica, okay, from my father, who was the captain of the basketball national team of Dominica, Clement Jean-Baptiste. So it was very important to me and for the organization community to absolutely include Dominica in our program, because everything, I like to say it, everything started in Dominica. Okay, everything started. This program, this strategic reflection, how we can leverage sports around cooperation and sustainable development started in Dominica. So it's absolutely normal that between Guadeloupe and Martinique, we stop in Dominica. And also is a way for us to remember, to salute, to do a tribute to the Kalinagos, okay, to the Kalinagos who supported our ancestors during that fight against one of the biggest crimes against humanity, okay. So we will be so delighted, all the teams as ambassadors of our program of movement, to visit the Kalinagos and to honor them as well in Dominica.
This is very important. His Excellency, the first people, the Kalinagos, and how important it is to recognize the part that they played, not as just being the first people, but to assist in the resistance and still are alive today. How important is this, Excellency, for us as a people?
Oh, the last chief of the Kalinagos is a friend of mine. So let me salute him and tell him how happy I was to visit what they call the reserve, the
Kalinago.
Kalinago territory,
Hmm.
and I'm very proud. In Martinique, we have this link with the Kalinago people, and we have a land for them in a city called Sainte Marie. They have their land in Martinique. You know, the link between Kalinago and African people. In Venezuela, they call them Garifuna. It's a new people, and it's an Afro-Caribbean people, and we are African Kalinagos, because the entire Caribbean is a loving affair between Kalinago and African in the resistance against the the the
Colonial
the
powers.
crime, the colonial crime, and I will be very happy, very glad to visit them another time and to unite as Kalinago territory. It was the little islands of the Caribbean was the Kalinago territory, and even if the most important part of the people is from Africa, but the most important symbolic part of our people is our Kalinago spirit living in Dominica, but living in the whole little island of the Caribbean. So that's very important, and that's the reason why when the CARICOM state came to Benin in January of this year, uh, they took a moment to have uh, they took a moment for the memory of the Kalinago people and the our African ancestors, the link between them. And I remember too, when I was there's 10 years ago in Saint Vincent and the Grenadines, and the Prime Minister of Saint Vincent and the Grenadines told us about the Kalinago, what they suffer when they condemn them to death, bringing them on an island without water, and yes, they suffer like us, they resist, they fought like us, with us, and we are one family with the Kalinago people.
And this
Uh,
this
I
this
will,
is this is
I,
I
I
mean, I'm
will,
really excited
uh,
about this because it is so
I
historic.
will leave you because I have an appointment right now, but I want to thank you, all the people of Dominica, to permit, like in Guadeloupe, like in Martinique, this tournament to take place, this moment to take place, this symbolic time of memory for our ancestors, our common ancestors, and for a future of peace and fraternity.
Thank you
I
very
thank you,
much.
and
Thank
I
you very
tell
much,
you
His
bye bye.
Excellency. And let's hope that we can talk soon and we will see you soon. And we are welcoming you to Dominica during that time of May between the 22nd and the 27th. And we really hope that Benin will also have a wonderful time. The national team of Benin, will have a wonderful time in Dominica. Thank you again, His Excellency.
Thank you again, and see you in Dominica, in Guadeloupe, in Martinique, and in Benin.
In
Bye
Benin.
bye.
Thank you very much. Okay, His Excellency. So Marvin, I mean, this is big news for us. This is massive, massive news for us in Dominica because we are going to be part of a tripartite tournament. It's going to commence in Martinique, where the teams of Dominica, the national Dominica team, likewise Guadeloupe and Martinique, and the team from Benin will be playing in Martinique first. Okay?
Definitely.
And then
Yeah,
from there, we come to Dominica, and Dominica will be playing the national team of Benin,
that's
right?
correct.
And then from there we go to Guadeloupe on the day of the abolition, or memorial of the abolition of slavery. And that's when the Guadeloupe team will play the team from Benin. I mean, this is huge. This is, I mean, you cannot ask for anything bigger than that. The collaboration. What would you want to tell Dominicans to get ready for such a major historic moment for us?
Well, I think everybody have to be conscious that sports is a absolute powerful tool to bring people around the world together. And the Creole Memorial Day Cup is more than a international sporting event. Dominica will be part of it. The national basketball team of Dominica should be ready to compete and represent our country, Dominica, during this event, which will have a visibility beyond the borders of Dominica, beyond the borders of the Caribbean. It will go internationally in Europe, in Africa, in the Americas. And first of all, it is a platform for the players to have a visibility, such visibility, and to promote also Dominica as an amazing sport tourism destination. Okay, it's already known as a cultural tourism destination, but it's also a sports tourism destination. And to welcome Guadeloupe, Martinique, and especially Benin, who will travel from so far with his national team composed of professional players from Europe, uh, players playing in Japan, and also there's a young player who is the all-time scoring leader of the High School of California. He was participating to the Nike hoop tournament recently, where you have the best U17, U18 players of the world, and he was part of the starting five for the world team. So he should be part of the national team of Benin. So for the fans of basketball, but also for all the nations of Dominica, the Creole Memorial Day Cup around the celebration of the abolition of slavery, to bring a message of peace, a message of fraternity, but also it's a dynamic of sustainable development around tourism, culture, also economics, because all the actors of the tourism sector are partnering to make this happen. The government of Dominica is supporting us to make it happen. I think the nation has to come together to honor our visiting team, okay, and to make sure that at Massac, we will never forget this Creole Memorial Day Cup coming to Dominica.
It is a sporting event, but then how are the other aspects of our creative industries going to be added, to be included, like the music, the fashion, the food, the arts, into such a wonderful celebration? How are we going to include that?
Yeah, the teams will arrive to Dominica on May 23rd. Okay, May 23rd. This is on May 24th at Massac. It should be a showcase of our cultural heritage. So when it comes to music, fashion, our culinary experiences in Dominica around the Creole culture, they should leverage the Creole Memorial Day Cup to give the best experience possible to our visiting team, and to show to the world the dynamic of our creative, cultural creative industries. When it comes to music, The bouillon music is booming, but also our traditional music, our heritage is important to take advantage of this platform to promote Dominica as one of the best tourism destinations of the Caribbean. So it is very important, and it should leverage economic impact, because now even Africa, West Africa, will be watching us. And this is a great opportunity for Dominica, and I hope we will play our A game to honor the Creole Memorial Day Cup.
Will the three teams get an opportunity to for a return leg in Benin?
Oh, that has been the discussion with His Excellency the Ambassador of Benin, because the part of the program Creole Sport International, this program to develop sports in the Caribbean around the Creole culture and the dynamic of cooperation. Benin is looking forward to welcome us in the homeland of Africa, West Africa, to kind of duplicate what we are doing. And this will be an opportunity to create a Caribbean All-Star team, or if possible, the Dominican national team to go and play in Benin to celebrate also the heritage, the Afro-Caribbean heritage around the coming back of the diaspora. I think we will be so delighted to be part of such opportunity to travel to Benin and to represent the Caribbean over there.
Something unique is taking place. Something I'm not sure if it's the first time it is taking place, but this is something very unique where we are now opening a door. We are opening a link to the African continent that we have been wanting to do for so long. How can we take advantage of that relationship? We, as the diaspora and the African continent, the mainland itself. I mean, this is a link that is now going to open for us. What are the ways you think we can further strengthen that relationship and open other avenues for us to at least, be more together, more in coherence with each other?
I think we should come together with our best ambassadors in the economic sector, in the music industry, in the cultural sector overall, with our best ambassadors to build that economic, cultural, tourism cooperation, to create opportunities for the private sector. It could be in agriculture, in renewable energies. It could be also in the digital economy, different industries, to discuss how we can cooperate and have an economic impact for development. Is also an opportunity for the youth, okay, to open new doors. So I believe during this is the around the Creole Memorial Day Cup, we're going to organize economic forum where the private sector, the youth, cultural ambassadors of Dominica in various music, in various creative industries will be welcome to meet, to discuss with the delegation of Benin, which should come with economic actors under the lead of the ambassador of Benin in the Caribbean. So to meet, to discuss, to be part of this movement and start to build it together. We can only do it together. The Creole Memorial Day Cup, the NGO Caribbean Sports Sustainable Development, the program Creole Sport International is there to launch, to open that door in a humble way with the government, discussing with the tourism authorities, and anybody is absolutely welcome to bring suggestions, to present their vision and program and opportunities that they think that we can build in the dynamic of cooperation. How can I call it? Afro-Caribbean cooperation. And Dominica has a role an important role to play. I think they are at the center of this platform, and I hope that everybody is conscious that we have to take advantage of this opportunity, and to make it sustainable. So we need everybody from the civil society to come together, suggest, propose, and open discussion to take action. That's the most important. We are not limited to declaration of intention. We take in action. We take in action, and we leverage sports to to bring everybody together.
Okay, and the government is fully supportive of this venture here. So the Benin delegation will also have an opportunity to have friendly discussions with the government also.
Excellent, excellent.
Okay, and in terms of the whole, let's go back over and revisit the whole Dominican experience because I want us basically on the Nature to understand what is going to happen, to understand the historic value and significance of what is going to happen. Three of the francophone teams in the names of Guadeloupe, Martinique, Dominica. They will be in a special tournament called the Memorial Cup Tournament, which will be taking place around the abolition of slavery in the French islands of Martinique and Guadeloupe. Okay, the tournament will start in Martinique. What happens in Martinique? Then tell us what the program in Dominica, then Guadeloupe, and then from there we're going to figure out in the next few minutes how are we going to take advantage now of the entire experience. So first store, Dominica team, Guadeloupe team, and the Benin team will go to Martinique.
Yes, they will go into Martinique. The Benin team should arrive on May 20th. Dominica, Guadeloupe should arrive on May 21st. On May 22nd, there will be a memorial tour in Martinique in partnership with the city of Gosier, of Fort-de-France. I would like to thank the mayor of Fort-de-France, Mr. Laguerre, and all his services for their great assistance and partnership to organize the Martinican experience of the Creole Memorial Day Cup. So there will be a memorial tour because it's very important that all the participants to this international basketball tournament become ambassadors of what we do and also of Martinique. And there will be the games on May 22nd. Okay, there will be the games on May 22nd where you will have is the same formula, a platform for cultural showcase of Martinique, like the ballet, the traditional carnival as well, and also artists should perform on May 22nd in the city of Fort-de-France at the indoor facility of Louis Achille in Fort-de-France. Then the teams will leave Martinique to travel through l'Express des Îles, which is a partner to Dominica. They will arrive to Dominica. In Dominica, they should be greeted because by the government to welcome them in the Nature with a cocktail. And then on the 24th, there will be a memorial tour as well where we will visit the Kalinago territory. Okay. And on the night of the 24th, there will be two games. So you will have opening game Guadeloupe against Martinique, and the closing game will be the Dominican national team against Benin, just to make history at Massac. Once again, it's the same formula. It will platform for the celebration of the commemoration of the abolition of slavery, but also a platform for cultural performances, traditional, but also performance of our time right now to bring everybody together and to celebrate this event. Then the teams will travel on May 25th to Guadeloupe through l'Express des Îles, all four teams, and they will arrive to Guadeloupe and stay at the city of Gosier. We would like to thank the former mayor of the city of Gosier, Mrs. Montout, and the actual mayor of Gosier, Mr. Autin, recently became the mayor of the city of Gosier, to welcome the teams on the Gold Coast of Guadeloupe, all right, where we have the biggest indoor facility. Also in Guadeloupe, there will be a memorial tour where we will visit the famous and the biggest museum in the world related to slave trade and slavery called the Memorial Act. Okay, the Memorial Act. There was so many exchanges between Benin and Guadeloupe, but also Dominica. I remember the late past of Alwyn Bully, Mr. Alwyn Bully, who contributed to the permanent exposition of the Memorial Act around the slavery and slave trade. Dominica gave some artifacts, some elements around our common history. So they contributed to the success and to also the memory around slavery through the biggest museum in the world, the Memorial Act. So we will visit this museum. Then we will visit also a fort called Fort Fleur d'Épée. This is a place of history between Guadeloupe, Dominica, and around slavery, the abolition of slavery as well. And we will visit another museum around the traditional costumes as well. There's a lot of history around it. And the teams will visit the city of Sainte Anne as well, which is one of the most attractive cities of Guadeloupe when it comes to a tourism experience. So
what is the mood like in Guadeloupe and Martinique? We are just launching our first program today, but we're going to get more aggressive as soon as Easter is over here to make the people get ready for this major tournament. But what is the feeling like in Martinique and Guadeloupe for this major Memorial Cup celebration?
well, they are very excited. We have to understand, just like last year, when especially for basketball, we were not quite allowed to participate to officially to Caribbean competition, for example. And last year we opened that door through the Creole Basketball Championship, this Champions League of basketball of the clubs of the Creole nations. And today, the Creole Memorial Day Cup, focusing on more on national teams, all-star teams, is we are about to create history. You know, they are so pleased, excited to welcome Dominica, to welcome Martinique, but of course Benin. Of course, Benin. You know, in Guadeloupe, they remember when Pelé, you know, the Brazilian footballer, came and played in Guadeloupe in Pointe-à-Pitre. People are always talking about it. People are telling me, Marvin, we will never forget when Benin and Dominica came to play basketball in Guadeloupe. So this is the level of excitement. People are saying even if it's happened at 3 a.m., they will attend. They don't want to miss that. Okay, at Gosier. So everybody are excited, and of course, at another level, they understand the multiple dimensions of what we're doing. It's more than a sporting event. There will be an economic forum in the city of Gosier, and also a cultural village where people will be able to showcase their products, services around our Afro-Caribbean culture. Okay, having a culinary experience, craftsmen will be present as well. But the most important around the basketball tournament will be that economic forum where we will, in partnership with Coreca. You know Julien Mérion,
Yeah,
I believe.
that's my very good friend.
Yes, Coreca is a partner of the NGO, and they
If
will
ordinary
partner with us to organize.
Dominicans, Marvin, if ordinary Dominicans hearing of this major event that's going to take place, yes, apart from taking place in Dominica, but then the culmination will be in Guadeloupe, and let's say people want to come and experience the economic forum and several of the other activities, are these activities open for the public and let's say Dominican public to just come across, take the boat and come across and witness what's going on in Guadeloupe?
Definitely, as fans, but also professionals, organization, they are the most welcome to attend to the cultural village, which takes place at the indoor facility of Gosier, Palais des Sports du Gosier, and also the economic forum, where we will debate on how we can capitalize on the Afro-Caribbean cooperation to build up sustainable development in our region. So different actors from the private sector, tourism sector, cultural sector are absolutely welcome to attend to those activities around the basketball tournament at the city of Gosier on May 27th, which is a holiday in Guadeloupe, definitely. So it should be
So
a popular event.
just the abolition, just for information, for those who may not be familiar, the abolition of slavery in Guadeloupe and Martinique, these are holidays.
Yeah, there are definitely holidays, May 22nd in Martinique and May 27th in Guadeloupe. So we are looking forward to open the doors to the public. It should be a popular event during the whole day, where from the morning until 5 p.m., you will have that cultural tourism culinary village around the Creole culture. Okay. And in the morning from 10 a.m., you will have that economic forum organized in partnership with Corica and Julien Merion on how we can absolutely capitalize on this Afro-Caribbean cooperation in the dynamic of sustainable development.
This
So
is so exciting. I mean, that's a I mean, this avenue, this door, this relationship, I could see that blossoming, and it just reminds me of when the Kadas Lips of music in its heyday, moved to the African continent, and I'm still big in the Indian Ocean as we speak. But then it just gives me shivers to see, well, another opportunity as a reason where we can now have that close connection with Africa, with Guadeloupe, Martinique. The more we can exchange what we have and who we are, is the more cognizant and is the more significant it is for us as a people. Sports, cultural exchange, these are, I mean, these are some of the spinal cord of what God gave us. These are the gifts God has given to us, and I really do hope that this first and historic event will be the talking point throughout the end of May. By the way, May is normally dubbed in Dominica as Tourism Month, which kind of starts off with the Jazz and Creole Festival and goes way up towards the end of the May, with the month of May, with several awards. We just have about 5 more minutes because based on the time we started. Nous kay parler en Creole pour dire tout ce monde là, tout ça nous kay partager là, tout ça nous partager là en anglais. Nous kay di même bité là pour moun préparer koyo pour gwa événement là ça. À nous parler en Creole à présent.
oui, ben, merci tout le monde. Jodi, c'est une nouvelle, une grande nouvelle que nous avons partagée, et puis peuple Dominique, mais ce peuple de Caraïbes là, que Creole Memorial Day Cup 2025 qui arrivé, c'est un tournoi international à basketball, ouais, là où il y a une équipe nationale à Dominique, équipe All-Star à Guadeloupe, équipe All-Star à Martinique, qui joignent et contre équipe nationale à Bénin. Bénin, dans l'Afrique de l'Ouest là. Nous étions tellement contents aujourd'hui que monsieur l'ambassadeur à Bénin pour les Afro-Caribéens était présent, monsieur Germany, qui soutient programme là, Creole Sport International, pour nous mener ensemble, Caraïbes là, avait ouvert porte à Africa aussi. Donc, Creole Memorial Day Cup, c'est 4 équipes, c'est 3 dates, c'est dans 3 pays à nation créole. Alors, c'est en mai 22, mai 22nd, les 4 équipes qui ont voyagé par biais à l'Express des îles, qui sont en partenaire, ils ont voyagé pour jouer Martinique, jouer à abolition, à esclavage en Martinique, qui ont des matchs, qui ont pour ouvrir compétition là, qui ont match Guadeloupe contre Dominique. Nous savons qu'il y a un lot dominicain en Martinique Donc, il y a espéré qu'il y ait déplacé pour soutenir l'équipe nationale à Dominique face à la Guadeloupe et pour fermer compétition la Martinique, Kenya, un moment très fort que nous pouvons jamais oublier en Martinique contre Bénin. Et ça qui est passé Fort-de-France dans le stade Louis Achille dans Fort-de-France. Nous avons dit merci à la ville de Fort-de-France pour ça. Et bien, après ça, c'est l'équipe là qui est voyagé pour descendre Dominique. Pour descendre Dominique, là, nous sommes tellement honorés de rencontrer les Kalinago, Pep Kalinago, qui c'est un peuple qui sauve nous, qui porte résistance pour nous, qui porte solidarité pour nous. Et donc, nous sommes très contents que nous rencontrions. Parce que dans chaque pays, nous qui passé, qui ont un mémorial tour autour de l'abolition à l'esclavage. Et en mai 24, nous qui tout contré pour célébrer l'abolition de l'esclavage l'entour à basketball, ça qui est fait à Massac, en gymnase à Massac, Indoor Facility à Massac, là où il y a des matchs, pour ouvrir compétition là, où il y a en Guadeloupe contre Martinique, et en passant, si tout le monde a rendu compte que ça y est, mais il y a une équipe nationale à Dominique qui est contre l'équipe nationale à Bénin. Ça, c'est un butin que l'histoire qui est songée, en cas espéré, et cette équipe-là qui est voyagée finalement en Guadeloupe, nous qui arrivons à Guadeloupe pour jouer en mai 27, mai 27, dans Villa Gosier. Là, nous qui célébré l'abolition à l'esclavage, et nous qui avons aussi des matchs qui en Dominique contre Martinique et qui ont aussi pour fermer compétition là, qui en Guadeloupe contre Bénin. Tout le monde Guadeloupe tellement excité à ce sujet-là, ça, avec nous espérons que toute diaspora là qui est semblée dans Villa Gosier pour nous fermer compétition là, ça, et célébrer. Ça qui est important, Dominique, c'est que en plateforme pour tout le monde sembler qui c'est monde de private sector, monde qui a dans kilti, monde qui a fait musique, de venir rencontrer monde Guadeloupe, monde Martinique et monde Bénin pour y arriver à utiliser plateforme là ça, coopération là ça que nous mettre en place à travers sport pour que ça nous ouvrir d'autres portes pour que nous ayons un impact économique pour nous jouer à montrer qui Jean Dominique Belle, montrer que Jean Dominique c'est une belle destination pour tourisme et pour faire promotion à Kilti en nous, pas seulement en Caraïbes, pas seulement en Guadeloupe, pas seulement en Martinique, mais aussi nous pouvons faire en Africa avec Bénin. Et Bénin, j'ai très excité d'inviter nous pour venir mettre en place des programmes de développement durable à travers sport, culture et aussi mémoire, histoire là, ça, héritage là, ça qui est lié nous. Donc, en commandé, tout le monde Dominique, avait soutien au gouvernement là, en commandé private sector là, en commandé la jeunesse, en commandé tout le monde de venir ensemble, vous pouvez contacter nous si vous avez participé, soutiennent Creole Memorial Day Cup pour nous sentir que ça vient un butin successful et un butin qui est aussi duré, qui est sustainable aussi et que nous qui mené en dot to the next level ensemble. C'est ça qui est important. Nous bisons ça pour venir à pays là et à venir à Caraïbes là.
Merci un pile, mon frère. Puis ça a fait mon plaisir là. Et puis, nous avons en confiance. Et puis, nous avons fait n'importe ça nous paye. Ça, c'est moi, ambassadeur de culture. Et puis, Creole Heartbeat. Nous avons fait tout ça nous paye pour faire sauter. Nous, faire sauter tous ces monde là qui ont venu, tous ces bitins économiques. Donc, qui ont trouvé ça, qui ont arrivé. Et tout le monde est excité comme ça parce que ça, c'est un porte qui est ouvert, qui est bien important pour nous qu'on paye. Et puis, en relation avec Afrique, en plus forte relation avec Martinique, Guadeloupe. C'est ça, nos besoins. Ces pays-là, ces jours-là, ça. Business qui vient plus raide, un homme fou qui est États-Unis là, il vient plus raide. So, plus ensemble, nous, rester ensemble avec y'en et l'autre. Nous, c'est pas nous, c'est faut nous pas oublier, c'est Afrique qui est assis dans nous, c'est pour nous pas oublier ça, messieurs, mesdames. Et ça qui est important, nous avons fait ça au milieu de toute vitesse, c'est Kalinagola là avec nous, c'est parce que c'est eux qui étaient premier monde là. So, nous avons fait un spécial hommage à territoire Kalinago aussi. So, tout le monde nègre, tout le monde, messieurs, mesdames, rassemblés causons, préparer causons, messieurs, mesdames, en grand habité qu'a fait à Dominique, fait ça tout le monde là, messieurs, pour ça. Nous avons une go basket à Dominique, équipe Benin, équipe Guadeloupe, équipe Dominique, équipe Martinique avec nous, messieurs, et nous avons amusé con nous avons fait ça, ces monde là, ils viennent là, ils sont bien excités, ils sont bien contents, ils sont bien confortables, et puis dernièrement, à ce côté gouvernement la Dominique, à ce côté peuple la Dominique, à monsieur ou Marvin, et puis ambassadeur pour Benin aussi, ça c'est monsieur Georges, Excellency Georges Germany. Merci pour faire ça qui est venu en route, et nous bien contents, et nous avons fait tout ça pour faire ça un grand succès.
Merci en pile, Wadix. Merci pour tout ça au café. Merci Dominique pour toute solidarité, fraternité que nous savons mettre en place pour un meilleur Dominique, un meilleur Caraïbes, et nous ouvrir porte à Afrique parce que c'est là nous sortis.
Ok, merci un peu, messieurs, mesdames, ça c'était un grand différence là, un événement, une émission qui était différent. Nous sommes capables de parler créole, nous sommes capables de parler un peu d'anglais, parce que ça qui est important, là même, nous, c'est ça, nous, messieurs. Et si nous besoin de savoir qui côté nous, ni pour aller, nous supposons savoir qui côté nous sortir. Eh bien, un grand but qu'a fait à Dominique, c'est pour nous préparer cause messieurs, c'est pour nous préparer cause pour ça, messieurs. Dominique qu'a chaud, Dominique qu'a frappé, culture, sportif, qu'a venu ensemble, qu'a maillé, culture avec sport, qu'a maillé à Dominique, messieurs. Et ça a commencé à la Martinique. Et qu'il continue à la Dominique, et puis la Guadeloupe, Benin, la Martinique, la Dominique, et puis nous avons frappé très fort, ensemble, en seul peuple. C'est Dieu qui va assis dans nous. Merci, ça c'est notre émission de Creole Heartbeat. Nous allons encore mercredi prochain, si Dieu veut.